bit of an odd day yesterday. There wasn't enough really going on in the morning for me to make a video on the way home. I trained 3 horses. Jogged one that was coming back from some time off. We'll get to that in a minute. There wasn't enough going on earlier in the night, to make a video about the earlier or middle part of the day. As much of what was going on was later on. So I'm going to get to the entire day yesterday. I woke up, had a nice sleep, got up, went to Northfield Park and trained Gypsy Hill. I thought he trained very, very good. Trained Prince Charmer. We put the belly band hobbles on Prince Charmer, let his head down a bit. I thought he trained well also. So very happy with both of those horses heading into their stake race on Thursday. I went out on the track with H.O. Blue. I didn't know whether I was going to jog him or train him. I was just trying to get a feel for him when we were on the track, because I did train him Friday. He was a little lackluster, and I wanted to get a feel for... we got his blood back. He didn't tie up. There wasn't a ton of markers going on that would say, oh, you need to work on this. There was some things. It wasn't perfect, but it wasn't like, oh, that's what it was. So I went out and jogged him with the intention of possibly training him a mile. And then as I get out there, he seemed pretty good. So my thinking on H.O. Blue is simple. One, I want the vet to look at him. I did not get a report from Dr. Latessa yesterday after he looked at him, so I'll call him today. We'll discuss H.O. Blue a little more. But I'll tell you what I did do. We galloped him. I turned him. I felt that he seemed like he felt okay, so I turned him and I galloped him, and he was extremely strong. Now, you can't read too much into that, but the one thing is his stamina is up there. I trained him on the gallop a mile in 54.2 yesterday, which sounds super fast, and it is fast, but it's not like he's going to go and trot in 54.2. He galloped, but the way he did it, he felt very comfortable and very strong. So a lot to unpack there. Why? Why does he feel weak on the trot and strong when you're galloping him? This is a horse that's already raced in stake races at 2, had an abysmal 3-year-old year, and then virtually was turned out for the entire year. He's been off for over a year. There was no major injury to this horse. He just wasn't present. So I think, as I said to my brother yesterday, I talked to Mark. Mark loves the horse. And I talked to Mark and I said, I think it's just a matter of really drilling into him, really drilling him into shape. As an athlete, he feels like the package is there, right? As I like to say with the babies when they're training down, the toolbox is there. They get all the tools in there. They just have to put them in the right place. And I think, like most athletes, just some hard work will probably help H.L. Blue out. So we galloped him hard on Monday. I'm going to be at Northfield again Thursday morning. We might, same thing, I'll go out with the intention. If you want to train on the trot, I'll train you on the trot. If you don't feel super comfortable on the trot, guess what? You're going to do some running. And I think that's what we're going to do for H.O. Blue, and we're going to rinse and repeat with that until when I do train him on the trot, he feels good. And I think there is a horse in there. There is a horse in there that will trot. It's just a matter of working him. So we'll get there with him. I know, geez, we've been waiting so long. Every week it seems like I'm making up a different excuse why H.O. Blue isn't ready, and it's just a matter of training him down. Mark did right by the horse, taking his time and putting the miles into him. When it comes to his entire body work right now, I'm going to drill down on him over the next 10 days and 2 weeks till we get to a horse where I can say, now you're ready to train on the trot. And I just don't think we're there yet. The stamina is there, but we need to put some hard, heavy lifting and hard labor into this guy over the next 10 days to 2 weeks. And that's what's coming for H.L. Blue. And that isn't me being mean. That's just saying, okay, now we're at a part of your training where you're going to have to start doing some heavy lifting. And then I jogged Creatine filly after we gave her 3 weeks in the stall. Why can I never remember her name? I'm talking about her. My wife and I just talked about her this morning. But when push comes to shove, I can't get the words out of my mouth. It's on the tip of my tongue. The 2-year-old Creatine filly that her knees were bothering her. We gave her 3 weeks in the stall, 4 weeks in the aqua treadmill. It was a pretty cool video that Dr. Latesta posted yesterday. The horse in that video obviously was No Chance in Hill. He's starting back jogging now. So 2 horses that had minor injuries have recovered, and they are on their way back. Does that mean they get to race this summer? I don't know yet. We'll see. No promises, but they're definitely on their way back. So those were the 4 that I went with at Northfield, and then I made my way back to Ontario. On my way back to Ontario, I got a little bit of a scare. Watch Spitfire overseas race. Oh my God. I think everybody that has gone through everything with us over the last number of years had a pretty good idea of what happened to Spitfire. You guys are learning too. I had 2 messages, and you were both right. Right after the race. When you see a horse just collapse the way he did, and I don't mean on the track, for those of you who missed the race, he was leading, everything was going his way, and then down the backstretch he just backed through the field and was beaten what seemed like forever. And all the things that could have went wrong, actually, one of the better things, this sounds odd, but one of the better things is AFib, because if bleeding caused him to back through the field like that, that is a major problem, one that probably requires time, right, and intervention. If it was sickness to the point that he walked that badly, he could be very sick, right? We could have a real problem on our hands. We could have, it's not a light, what the hell is wrong with me? We could have a real problem on our hands if it was sickness or bleeding. Tying up again to see him falter that badly would have to be a significant AST level. So when you think about it, 2 years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, Patrick de Perona, when we had him here, went into AFib. Now that just means their heart is not in proper sync. It happens a lot more often than you think. There's a number of ways they can flip back, and usually what happens, this is an electrolyte imbalance problem. So this is a combination of the heat, training, which he trained good this week, and Megan said he got all his fluids this week, so there could be a little virus going on, but the electrolyte balance gets screwed up in the horse, and his heart skips a beat, right? Flips. It goes into arrhythmia. I don't know the exact way to explain it to you. I don't know the medical way. The common horseman term is, he flipped his heart. That's what he did. So he was checked after the race. He wasn't AFib. By the time they got him back to the barn, he was not, according to Megan's vet, and apparently he's very diligent. So he had reverted back, which is good. That's a good sign. Treat him with, I believe, what Megan's vet had said was dexambanamine for 3 days, and then a week of just field time, just to relax. And for everybody out there, again, Patrick de Perona qualified like a week later, and then went out and went on a tear in Massachusetts. So this isn't something where there's a long-term issue. The only long-term part of this, 2 parts. First, was this caused by Lasix, which is possible. But Patrick de Perona remained on Lasix. We just have to make sure he has all his fluids. Secondly, was the horse sick? What caused it? Was it Lasix, or was it something else? Now, Megan is going to go through the entire diagnostic with the veterinarian just to make sure. But when you look back at yesterday, of all the things that could have went wrong, of all the things that would explain what we all saw in that video, although it sounds odd, this is one of the better ones, because it isn't something that's usually a one-off with horses. This isn't something that comes back and back and back, unless it goes untreated, undiagnosed, or you don't adhere to the science of the horse. You race the horse when the horse is dehydrated, or we had to be careful after that not to train Patrick de Perona on Lasix in between starts, because we just felt that those 2 shots of Lasix inside of a week or 8 days was just too much for him. So we didn't. He never trained in between like that, and if he did, it was at a 10-day schedule and was very hydrated after the training mile. So just things like that that will help this horse. I don't think it was anything serious, although it looked very serious. It is manageable, very, very manageable. And as I said, of all the things that could have went wrong, as far as seriousness goes, and long-term, short-term, this was actually one of the better ones. So Spitfire, a scary moment with him, but it didn't take long to figure out what happened, and Megan and her vet are putting together a plan for him as we speak. The second one was a little bit odd. There was almost some tears shed for Unbeatable Kemp. Now I'm fine. I tried to tease Amy, keep her spirits because she loves the horse. We've had the horse forever, and when it came to Unbeatable Kemp, it was. I thought there was going to be some waterworks there, but it turned out we were all right. I know it's going to bother Amy. I mean, it's not like, oh, she got over it. No, she didn't. The horse was claimed. For those of you that don't know, Unbeatable Kemp was claimed. Can't put him on the front, but we put him on the front. Presumably, one, he was claimed, and two, he was even money. So Sylvain opted for the front end. Maybe he doesn't know the horse well enough. You can't do that. That will happen almost every time with that horse. Put him on the front. He'll feel great, and then he'll curl up. And he did. So not how you'd like to drive him, but a good result, I think, overall, all things considered. So Unbeatable Kemp departs the stable.ca. We'll look for another horse for that class right away. And then the last one, we had to wait late in the night to watch J.K. Mickey Mantle. Now, I know that Jason had said, Anthony, I pulled his hobbles in a hole when he got back to Northfield, but I have him written down as 57 last year when we trained him. And there was a couple of people said, I don't think he'll get around a half. This horse trained in 154 at Northfield last year. He gets around a half. He's not quite big enough to say, oh, he's a big track horse. No, he's a little rocky, a little rolly, and he made a break last night, but Jason said after that he thought maybe Hunter had touched the wheel with him, but he said he wasn't. He was making a big move down the backstretch. You could see him gearing up to move him, and even if he did strike that wheel, would he have got around the last turn good? The problem is when we actually measured the hobbles from when Harry had him here, they were almost 59.5. So Jason had pulled him in a hole or two, but I just don't think that if you look at the horse, when he's out of gear and rolly, the hobbles are just flopping on him. And as I said to him, I said, well, I'm not saying you have to pull him back into 57, but can we meet in the middle somewhere around 58 would be better. So I think it was a combination of a few things. One, he had the 8-hole and he drug him off the gate, which was fine. That's what he had to do. But the rolliness was only accentuated by a long hobble, and maybe he did. I don't know if Hunter did hit a wheel. I've hit enough wheels in my life. I'm certainly not going to cast stones at somebody who touched a wheel when they were trying to get a horse moving. So, not the greatest night. We lost Kemp. We lost Cake. He did race okay, finishing 4th. That's the way that it shook out for him. A scary moment with Spitfire Overseas averted by figuring out exactly what took place, and we can manage this. And then J.K. Mickey Mantle's break, for whatever reason, was it just he rolled off? Did he touch a wheel? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Either way, he run. So next week we'll get him back in to go. And no, he's not leaving Northfield right now. For the people out there, I had a very kind conversation with one of our clients who was adamant that J.K. Mickey Mantle can't be at Northfield. Well, he is going to be at Northfield, right? I understand that you guys see something happen and you are certain there needs to be change, but sometimes you don't have all of the information. And we're all humans. We all make the same aspirations about certain things without all the information. That's human nature. It just is the way it is. But our job is to cut through all that, look at exactly what happened, and formulate a plan moving forward. So I think for all the horses that raced yesterday, we can't make a plan for Cake because he's not ours anymore, but definitely the other two, Spitfire and J.K. Mickey Mantle. So now today, we have lots going on today. Let's see if my calendar is still open because I don't have Wi-Fi here. Let's see if my calendar is still open, in which case I can probably... It is. Wednesday is up, but today is Tuesday. Tuesday is up. We have White Tiger tonight, Oakwood Cowboy. And somebody said to me that, you keep forgetting Sunset Acres Girl. If it's not on the calendar, I don't talk about it because I don't remember it. And I had to message Curtis yesterday. He's missed 3 horses this week. These horses obviously have to be manually uploaded into this calendar somehow. I don't know how he does it, but maybe he just manually updates all of them. And if they're not in the system, and then I go through my day and I'm trying to collect my thoughts, I just read off the calendar. So I apologize if I missed Sunset Acres Girl. But it was an honest mistake. She wasn't on the calendar. She should be now. So today, I'll tell you what's on the calendar today. White Tiger coming in good. Now here's the thing. Billy Davis Jr. will drive Oakwood Cowboy and Sintra. He doesn't generally drive in Georgian anymore, and he is in Canada right now. I was sitting beside him the other day, and it dawned on me that I couldn't get my flight out of Buffalo. I had to get my flight out of Cleveland. It would be torture for me to stay at Barrie, drive those 2 horses, and then drive all the way to Cleveland. I would literally have to sleep for an hour and a half in the parking lot at the airport. And I just think that, I said, Billy, just do me one favor, please. Don't put Sintra on the front, and don't put Oakwood Cowboy on the front. Dominic's done a great job getting this guy cooled down and racing from the middle of the pack, and Sintra's just not on his best right now, so I'd rather neither of them be on the front, if you don't mind. So, and that's not as a trainer, that's as a guy who owns pieces of them. So, he said, yes, no problem. So Dominic and Harry will have Billy Davis Jr. He said he would go to Georgian Downs for the last 2 races tonight. He will drive, there's no free lunch. He will drive Sintra. He will drive Oakwood Cowboy. I will drive my car to Cleveland, get some sleep, and then off to Philadelphia tomorrow, catch a plane back to Northfield. Big day for me tomorrow. Last horse tonight, Renegade Gypsy. There was some white stuff in his nose. It's just not the greatest weather for allergies. And Renegade Gypsy always struggled with them. If you remember last year in the middle of summer, he was racing in the grassroots and doing okay. It wasn't until the fall that he really took off. So I think right now is just we're almost there, right? We're getting there. Just a matter of pick your battles with him, race him as best you can, don't get him hurt, and keep his confidence up until we can get him through this, because clearly he's a horse that allergies do bother him. Now, when it does come to tomorrow, I'll touch on it quickly. My day starts with a flight at 5:30 in the morning to Philadelphia. When I get to Philadelphia, we have Royal Emeralds, Pull the Shoes, Flash Fly, Insider Trading, and Affection. All of them can do good, and all of them have the potential to do bad. Well, we always do at any given time. Royal Emeralds, I want to see a bounce back race from her. See how she does on Wednesday. Pull the Shoes. If she stays trotting, she should be good. I love this filly, and she should stay trotting. The only break in her last 2-3 was that where she caught that bell boot, and we do have to wear them on her. So I just hope she stays at it tomorrow, behaves herself, and just trusts herself, because it's a confidence thing with her gait, and she's coming forward, and I think she's a really nice filly. I'm interested to see, but obviously, going to be holding my breath for a few of these fillies tomorrow. Royal Emeralds, as I said, hopeful with her. Pull the Shoes, I can't wait to see her. Flash Fly's been good. I expect a good race from her. Insider Trading's up into the Sire Stakes. I don't know if this was the right move, but we'll see. And I know that a lot of people are like, oh, she earned it. No, she didn't. She didn't earn it. We put her in a position to do a lot more than she's been doing lately. So she did jump to grades 3. She went from grade 1, 2, up to grade 5. And we'll see if she can deal with that tomorrow, but I'm sure she can. And Affection, again, coming in a little short. She did train well, I'm told. So we'll see how she does tomorrow. Alibaba's first lifetime start at Grand River Raceway is tomorrow afternoon at 6:30 tomorrow night. And now I fly back in. I land at 8. I asked the race secretary to get us in late, and he did just that. Purple People Eater, Sedona Hill, Venice Blue Chip, and B. Lisa. Big day coming up for me tomorrow, coming up for the stable. But we got to get through today first. So good luck to everybody tonight. Not a whole lot to offer and talk about this afternoon. So I'll probably give you an update later on tonight or tomorrow morning on my way to the airport. Take care.